The Nigerian politics has been set on fire by Rotimi Amechi. In an unprecedented interview that was held today, an interview that lasted for almost 3 hours, Amechi came out blistering, blazing, charging aggressively against the North. In that interview, Amechi said that the North must take the back seat, that it is enough, that we can no longer at every point in time, when it's the turn of the South, that the North, most especially Atiku, instead of him to support his core Nigerians, he will try to find a way to model himself into the seat of power. That yes, he is still the member of the coalition, but he's in the coalition to ensure that he sees that things are done in the right way. And what does the right way means? It simply means that the North will be respected when it is their turn. The South will be respected when it is their turn. Period. That if anybody asks him a question, that should the ADC party put into their constitution, their memorandum of understanding, everything about them, that should there be zonal, should there be a consideration for rotational power, he said he will. In fact, Amechi has said that he is vying to become the president. That we should not forget that he, Peter Obi, and so many other people are in ADC, that he is looking up to the primaries, okay? That yes, he might not win, however, that if he wins eventually, he will do two critical things that are essential for Nigeria to move forward. He has said that he will first and foremost endeavor to change the constitution to recognize our tribal and ethnic differences. That he will call groups of people. When he called them, shall we move for regional governments? That, and by the way, he will not be able to achieve this without him calling the Igbos, the Fulanese, the Middle Belt, the Yorubas, the Ijos, and all, that is when he will be able to move towards that. You know, when he said this, I asked myself, and I said, so these people actually know that this country will never work the way it is currently constituted. However, they come out and they tell us that they are one Nigeria, one Nigeria. We know how much they vilified Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We know right now the sins of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa are because they spoke the truth. And when people like Roti and Amechi, when they begin to speak, I have a new joy in my heart. Because these are people that have eaten with the North. These are people that have fed with the North. These are people that have done things for the North. These are people who believe that for Nigeria to move forward, we have come of age. These are people who believe for Nigeria to move forward, what we have done in the past, it is just complete stupidity for us to think that if we continue to do it, Nigeria will change. No, it's not going to happen. Like they said madness or stupidity is when you keep doing the same thing and you expect a different result. These are people who have been in the politics right from the 80s, early 90s. He said it. I'm going to play the cassette for you. I'm going to extract the very important parts of that 4 hours interview and play about just 10 minutes of it for you so that you can listen. He said we have to cancel anything that has to do with indigenization bill. That the states are the one that will decide. That if at federal level, the only thing they can say is let us be citizens. You can decide to be a citizen of a state, no problem. But indigenization of you as a northerner, a full animal, you come to Oyo State and you tell me that you're an indigene, umba. He said umba no. Because it is when you begin to talk about indigenization that a Yoruba man would think he wants to go to Ikulobia. It is when an Igbo man will come to Apapa. That it is the indigenization bill that brings such confusion. That we must look at our reality as a people. And as a people, we have to tell ourselves that, listen, we have our diversity. We have our disparity. We have our boundaries as a people. In the Yoruba land, if you do not prostrate to greet an elder man, it's a sin. I mean, these are the words of Amechi. But if you go to the Igbo man's village, if you like, don't prostrate, just say, ne, you greet them, that's it. They don't care. But he said, when you go to the north, you have to show respect. You are not necessarily expected to prostrate, but you need to bend. He said, these are the things he has learned, and these are the tradition and culture that must reflect in our politics. Hence, we must have a constitutional reform and a constitutional change. you know, sometimes I haven't listened to what Amechi said. So many people attacked. They say, okay, when you were there, when you were with Buhari, Why did you bring up such conversations? Like, why is it now that Buhari is dead that you now look like an angel who knows all the right things to be done in this contraption? But when you were there working with Buhari, people said that you were the one collecting loans, and somehow, somewhere, you were able to, redirect some of those funds into your personal pocket. I mean, the interview is an interesting one, and you mustn't miss it. But before I do that, I just want to analyze the issues. You see, I do not want to sound like a broken record, because we know that Nigeria cannot function as a unity system. It is impossible. It is impossible for Nigeria to function as a unitary system. Why is Atiku running for presidential candidacy in ADC? Everybody is angry against Atiku. The only man who has not found the courage to speak up directly and bluntly is Peter Obi. And sometimes this is why I ask Peter Obi that you have to be, let us know your positions. In fact, after this interview of Ameachi, so many obedient, some of my colleagues who are in the obedient camp, some of my friends who are in the APC, some of my friends who are in the articulate, everybody is now trying to reposition themselves. Say, now here we do. We cannot tell ourselves this statement that there is no regionalism in our day-to-day activity. It is impossible. How you go talk, say, ADC, they don't want to talk about zoning? That is a total lie. You're just doing that because you want to put Atiku in the seat of power, trying to use the head of the Satanas. If Amechi does not speak, I'll call him a fool. If Peter Obi does not speak, I'll call him a fool. Because if Atiku was the one in their position, and Atiku knows that it is the turn of the North, all the aides, all the surrogates, his media aides, social advisors, is just the people working with him, by now would have been singing the songs and praises in that party that, oh guy, it is the turn of the South, oh. It is the turn of the North, oh. Is that not what they did in 2011 down to 2014? Was that not why they frustrated Jonathan, despite the high level of performance Jonathan made, the high level of contribution? Nigeria was heading to almost El Dorado. We were at $580 economy. In 4 years, we were supposed to mark $1 trillion economy in Africa. Would have been the first African country that reached that, that GDP quota. But yes, they said that they have no business with that. I mean, there was that video where Rufai said, what's our business? If Jonathan likes his social sharing go to all the Almanjiris, that is not our business. That their business is to ensure it gets kicked out, because it is the turn of the North. Let us quickly listen to this just brief, interview, and the response, very sharp and blunt response from Amechi, and afterwards we'll continue our analysis. Thank you.
APC primaries, you did say, when you clocked 60, that you told Bola, to his face, that you're not going to support him, right, after the primaries. And one would, ask the question, does that mean that if you lose the primary in ADC, you're not going to support whoever, emerges through that process? And the third question is, are you comfortable the way ADC is currently structured? Do you have confidence in the leadership? Do you think that you would accept whatever comes out of the primaries? Thank you so much. That's my question.
I think you don't live in Nigeria. I think you live outside Nigeria. Why I say live outside Nigeria is Buhari completed the Port Harcourt, Abuja Kaduna Railway. I don't know whether that is incompetence. Buhari started and completed the Lagos Ibadan Railway. Buhari built the first seaport in Nigeria. What you have is river ports. The first seaport in Nigeria was built under Buhari. It was under my ministry. I started it and I ended it. The roads that, what's his name? Fashola built, that's part of incompetence. The railway from Itakbe to Warri was started, is it Babangida or Shagare? It was completed under Buhari. The what's it called? Not lake. The dams were all completed under Buhari, and all this you refer to as incompetence. You must be a Tinubu supporter before for that kind of question that you ask. Now you say if we can compare Buhari's first 4 years to Tinubu's first 4 years. Compare that. Buhari in borrowing money. He was borrowing money. People were shouting about him borrowing money, but he was able to stop. It did not remove subsidy. People are not dying of hunger as they were dying now. People are dying. People are committing suicide. First year of Tinubu, people are jumping into the lagoon. And because of your time, me, I'm available. Let's go back to the issue of why I didn't support Tinubu. I've told you here. I have said that in a free and fair primary, quote me, in a free and fair primary, whoever emerges in ADC will be supported by me. I will go about campaigning for him. I will put on any effort I need to put to remove this incompetent government. Now that you have called it incompetent, has accused them of being incompetent. I will not be like them if I win primary. I will do everything differently. I've told you here that in my first 2 years, I will create what's it called? A middle class. Currently, there is no middle class. It's either you're rich or you're poor. I will get the governors to sit down with me. We will build primary schools in every village. We will build primary healthcare center in every village. I will bring money, they will bring money, and we'll build. I won't allow the governors just get away with the money, run away with the money. It will not happen in my regime if I'm elected the president. So if whatever you're doing with Tinubu, some of us when we get money to just feed ourselves, we'll do anything we like. But for how long? We just don't need to feed ourselves. We need to be able to sustain it. So you can't compare Buhari's government to Tinubu's government. Tinubu's government is the worst government. In fact, somebody told me that he thought Buhari's government would have been the worst. He said that we can never go below this. We have gone below Buhari. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll quickly move the mic to Igurube. Igurube, good morning.
No, that would have been here. That would have been here before it could be. That would, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
that would.
Fine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. It's a very good rapport. There are so many hotheads in ADC, and some of us have started being part of the process. We were part of the process in 2013. We have been part of the process now again to rebuild a new nation. This nation of ours is something that we know that there are no strong institutions, there are only strong individuals. Yes, Mr. Ameachi is a very strong individual. Arufa is a strong individual. So is Atiku, and so is PO. What are we going to be doing differently in the ADC to make sure that, okay, we from the outside, we might not be partisan, to be able to monitor and be sure that, okay, this delegate system or whatever that is going to produce what is going to produce is going to make sure that there is a pathway for survival for the youth, and we actually rebuild this country, because for now it is just self-serving. Yes, you cannot run for anything if you don't have certain amounts of monies. You cannot run for anything, whether it is even if you win the primaries and you don't have money for elections, you are going to lose out in those elections. What are we going to be doing to make sure that, okay, we can support this, make sure that the primaries are free and fair, and at the same time make sure that there is a leadership recruitment process, because that's the biggest deficit we have. We just have strong individuals. I believe in what you say, I believe in what Arufai says, I believe in what all the coalition leaders, Peter Obi's and all of them are saying, but are you guys going to go into a pact to say that, okay, we are coming together, whoever whose ox is God, and make sure that we give this country a befitting nation that we can all be proud of, because at this point in time we are the laughing stock of the world. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I see. I can understand how you feel, but you see, you must not only be a participant at the level of primary. You must also be a participant at the level of policy. No one man can tell you he's an expert in everything. No one person. I think that first and foremost, get people like you and others that will go back to the chairman and insist that the primary must be free, transparent, and fair. If it is not free, transparent, and fair, that is the first step to the death of ADC. So it's important that we all get up and make sure that the chairman and the members of the cabinet executive of ADC know that. The second aspect is that it's not about resume. I prefer the action. I said as governor of Rivers State, can you go back to Rivers State and find out all this noise about 90% of the political class in Rivers State passed through me? Name them. Just name them, and I will tell you the day they were recruited. I recruited them, but they can't stand hunger. Some of them can't stand hunger. But look at Dakuku. I recruited Dakuku from university when I was special assistant to the then governor. Would you say that Dakuku didn't perform as DG of Nimasa? Look at Atita. There are so many of them like that. If given an opportunity, trust me, just trust me. What I can't do, I will tell you I can't do it. I will sit down here with as many young men and women as possible to teach me what they think we can do. First, I'll tell them my ideas on how to create. Because when they say the youth, you talk about the middle class. There are youths in the rich class. I'm not saying there are no youths, but in the middle class, that's where you have the majority of the youths. Those whose parents look. When I ran the scholarship program in River State, that sent over 3,000 to 4,000 people overseas, that some of them were brought back, but over 1,000 to 2,000 came back, graduated as doctors and all that, and came back to Nigeria. When I did that, they did not. Anybody who approached me to help put him on the scholarship, I found money to train the person instead of putting him on the scholarship. I recruited poor people's children to go outside the country to study. Some of them were screaming. They never saw UK before. That's the first time they heard this is UK. Some went to Canada. Some went to India. They went around the world, Singapore. So for me, I'm talking about myself because I can only know about myself when we win the primary. I can only say that if we win the primary, and I need as much support as possible, I'm not among those who go to social media to be shouting, vote Amechi and all that. If you don't know me, come close to me. I have an open door policy. My house is open. Police doesn't stop anybody from coming in. You can come in at any point in time. Even somebody woke me up at 12 midnight last night. I was enjoying my sleep. I had no choice but to attend to the person. But if we do win, we will sit down to find how to tackle the problem. It is too shameful to be a Nigerian going by what is going on now. And I thank you for your question.
Thank you, His Excellency, sir. Really, I really appreciate, sir. Igweribe, Kenny will speak. Igweribe, Kenny will speak. Igweribe, please. Your question, please. Your straight question, please, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ozunaya. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dan Amana. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm all right, sir. Just a quick one. It's going to be two edged question. Question one is when you win, and first when you are contesting. In ADC, we have so much concern in your state. Your state is important to Nigeria in election, and it has become, in the last three cycle of election, it has become so notorious in rigging. As a ADC member and ADC leader in River State, how are you going to support the people to protect their votes from rigging, from intimidation, from harassment, and result rewriting afterwards? Two, if you become president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, these are just the two questions I want to ask you, sir. Thank you and welcome, sir.
Okay, so the first one is that I cannot explain to you what we will do to protect our results online. I have said this several times. Let's finish with the primary. Go, if you're in Nigeria, just go and register in ADC and support me for the primary. Once I emerge, I will articulate how we'll go about focusing and fighting the INEC to stop them from rigging the election. Then on the second one, I assure you that the first 1 year, one part of our achievement will be electoral reform. We will remove the power of the president to appoint an INEC chairman and INEC commissioners. Because what they are currently doing is that they have no character. They appoint APC members, PDP members. I was a PDP governor. They just call you, who do you want to bring from your state? You have to, when you bring. Some of them don't even have respect for, for transparency. They bring the party members. And that's because the laws, constitution say that whoever you will appoint must have been qualified to run for the office of the House of Reps. So what is qualification for House of Reps? It must be a card-carrying member of House of a party before you can run for House of Reps. All that constitutional amendment will be necessary for a transparent election. Hold me responsible. I want this kind of interview whenever I win the presidential election to ask me about these reforms. There will be reforms. In some countries, electoral umpires are voted for. They are voted for. So the chairman can emerge through election, but I don't have the details now. I want to sit down with the experts on how to reform INEC so that election government. The Buhari's government is 100 times better than Tinubu's government. For Christ's sake, we're dying of hunger. By the time I was minister, power was not what we pay here is 1 million naira every week for power, electricity. That 1 million naira multiplied by 4 is 4 million naira a month. Please, how many people can pay that? On top of that, you have to buy diesel at about 300,000 naira. That's not part of feeding. That's not part of domestic staff salary and all that. Well, when Buhari was in government, it wasn't like that. Why are we comparing what is it called, diamond to gold? In fact, this government is not even gold at all. Say that the reason why the subsidy removal is not successful is that the money is going to private pockets. So I will eliminate corruption. Trust me, the first 1 month of my being in office, corruption will disappear. If it doesn't disappear, I will put under my resignation letter and I will leave. I'm not joking. Now, the problem of the current government is that the benefits of subsidy is shared between 3 or 4 persons at the federal level and then the governors. And the governors are holding beach parties, dancing and having fun with young girls and all that. It will not happen with me. I will supervise government. Honestly, I will supervise government. So I will not bring back subsidy, but I will make sure that the outcome of the removal of subsidy is put back in the hands and pockets of Nigerians. If that happens, it will reduce poverty. They will have capacity to be able to purchase. The reason why nobody is talking to Nigeria is Nigerians don't have purchasing capacity. If you like, be 500 million human beings. The reason why they can go to India or go to China is that out of the 1.4 billion Chinese, close to 1.2 billion have capacity to buy. So if I invest, I usually tell people, I say, look, if I go to China and I start cooking amala and I collect $1 per person and 10 million persons buy the amala, I have $10 million now. But yeah, if you cook amala for 10 million Nigerians, they will not have the capacity to buy. So I will create that capacity. That's what I want to create. I want to remember the second question he asked. There was another question he asked.
The question I asked was regarding the current minister of Health. He said that Nigerians should not trust you. That you say you don't like money. However, there was a dollar.
They found bills of dollars in my pocket in that interview. It was Showore that was interviewing me. Showore had gone to New York. Showore had invited me for lunch. We had gone out for lunch, and then he said, "Well, an interview in is this?" And I said, "Okay, I will go ahead." While speaking, they saw $10,000. I was governor. $10,000 cash as allowance for traveling to New York. Haba for you that ask that question.
No, why I'm asking that question is that are you going to dollarize primaries in ADC? That is my question.
Wait, how does finding $10,000 in my pocket begin to become dollarizing of primaries? When we ran against Tinubu, did I dollarize the primary? You know, you must differentiate. Nigerian politicians are desperate. You must differentiate between the honest Nigerian politicians and there are very few. They can hardly. Anyway, I don't want to discuss Nigerian politicians. Just don't keep me away, because at the end of the day, it is Nigerian politicians that will make you win primary. Where the voters come in is the general election.
Thank you so much, sir. I will quickly move to Malam Mohammed. Malam Mohammed, good morning. You have your mic now.
Thank you very much. Sorry for this small interruption. I thought when Ogundayo called the numbers, I was number 5. So you permitted me, and when it was, sorry for the interruption. And I will use this opportunity also to thank Ogundayo for bringing the minister that I so much like, that I have never met in my life. In fact, this is the first time that maybe you'll be even hearing my voice in any medium. So I thank him for that, and I'm his supporter, not because of he look good or he is that or his Buhari's or no, just because of his resume that was just written, and I looked through it, and whatever he said, I believe is correct and it is true. And I asked a lot of friends that are from Rivers, which they relate same to me. So, and that's why I'm in his support. I'm from Kaduna State, precisely Kaduna South Local Government, the same constituency with your colleague.